Virginia is recognized for 4 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise today in strong opposition to H.R. 6929, another Democrat bailout bill by the sponsors of the nanny state. It's clear that Bidenflation is crushing the American people with the Biden price hike that's causing sky-high gas prices, and Americans are struggling to stay afloat as the economy limps towards recession. Not surprisingly, though, Democrats are trying to redefine the term recession to avoid recognizing the failures of their damaging policies. Let me help them out by paraphrasing from the former President Ronald Reagan. A recession is when your neighbor loses his job. A depression is when you lose your job. But a recovery is when Democrat members of Congress lose their jobs. This legislation would make hardworking middle-class taxpayers reimburse pension plan participants who were employed by the now-defunct Delphi Corporation and add 6% interest. The Democrats insist that this is just an attempt to rightfully recover losses suffered by these former employees. But early in my own career, I actually experienced this kind of unfortunate situation firsthand. In fact, my first employer after college ended their cash balance pension plan just a couple of years after I started with the company. But it never occurred to me that other hardworking taxpayers should have to pay me for the benefits and earnings that I missed out on. My next employer sold my division to a competitor, and then the former parent company went under, and the value of their stock that made up a significant portion of my retirement account went to zero. But again, it never occurred to me that other hardworking taxpayers should have to pay me to restore my lost investment value. In both cases, recognizing the risks and rewards associated with our non-socialist, free enterprise economic system, I just kept working hard, saving money for retirement, with no help from Congress or confiscation of resources from other hardworking taxpayers. To my benevolent colleagues on the other side, I have one question for you. Where does this end? And we know where it ends with these policies carried to its logical conclusion with the fiscal ruin of America. But I should say benevolent with other people's money and with our children's financial and economic future. Should Congress reimburse every American's investment retirement plan when it suffers a loss? What if all Americans seek repayment for their losses in this failed Biden economy? Because it does affect everyone. But hardworking Americans have had enough. Why should the constituents of my Virginia 5th District pay for someone else's retirement plan? Enough with the stimulus checks, enough with the bailouts, enough with paying people not to work, enough with growing the welfare state, enough with incentivizing and rewarding the wrong behavior while punishing those who do the right thing. Let's get back to the Trump policies of 1% inflation, $2 gas prices, and put Americans back to work. And I urge all of my colleagues to vote against this Democrat bailout bill. And I yield back.
The gentleman yields back. The gentlelady